Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and today we're building a beautiful and beginner friendly React counter app. This is perfect for anyone learning React because you get hands-on with use states, event handling and component styling using CSS. By the end of this video, you will build a fully functional counter app with React. So here's what we're going to be building. This is the background and this is our counter app. So we have a title here, we have the count itself, we have three buttons here, the decrement button, the reset button, and the increment button. So I'm going to increase now. You can see if we click on this button, the count keeps increasing. If I click on reset, it resets back to 0. If I click on increase as well, it will increase. And if I click on this decrease button here, it's going to keep decreasing. So this is a very simple. So if I click on reset now, you can see we're back to the count 0. This is a very simple project and this is beginner friendly. So you're going to learn how to build this very simple counter app using React, and we're going to be styling with CSS. So make sure you stick around to the end and I'm going to show you how to build this project. Don't forget to like, subscribe and drop a comment on what you want me to build next. So this is the beginning of our 30 days coding challenge for React beginners. Let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is to open your code editor. I'll be using VS Code. Then we're going to navigate to file, click on open folder, and then you're going to navigate to where you want to build the project. So I have a folder where I want to build this 30 days code. So I'm going to right click, then click on new. Then I'm going to create a folder for counter app YT. Okay. Press enter. I've created this folder. Then I'll select the folder and open it in VS Code. So this is the folder in VS Code here. Then navigate to your terminal, click on new terminal. On the terminal, we're going to run this command: npm create vit at latest space, then full stop. Then you're going to press enter. So right here is asking us for the package name, counter app YouTube. Yes, press enter. Then we're going to select the framework React. Then we'll select the variant JavaScript. You're just going to be pressing your down arrow to navigate to where you want to, what you want to select. Click on JavaScript, press enter. Now we're going to install JavaScript. We're going to install React, So we're going to run npm install. Then you press enter. Ensure you're connected to the internet. So now that we've successfully installed React, we're just going to head down here. This is our source folder. This is our node module, public folder, assets, and all of that. So let us open our React app in our local browser. So we're going to run this command: npm run dev, and you press enter. And this is going to generate the link for you to view your React app in local browser. So hover on the link and click on follow link. So here we have it. This is the default React app right here. So I'm going to head back here to my terminal. Then let's try to make some changes and see if it will reflect in our browser. I'm going to delete this vit plus React and I'm going to replace it with subscribe to my channel. Okay, and we should see it right here, subscribe to my channel. So this is a reminder for you to subscribe to my channel. Now let's get to the real work of building our counter app. So the first thing I'm going to do is to delete this entire thing. So Ctrl A, delete. Then RAFC. We use RAFC as a shortcut to create React snippets. To use this shortcut, you need to have this extension. Click on extension. You need to have this extension installed. EX7 React Redux React Native extension. Ensure to install this extension so you can use other shortcuts. Okay, so now we're going to delete app.css because we're not going to be using it for this project. Then our index.css as well. Ctrl A, then click on backspace. Okay, so this is what we have now. And if we check now, this is the only thing we should find here, app. Okay, so back to work. In our source folder, we're going to create a folder. And we're going to name the folder counter app. In this folder, we're going to create two files, the GSX and CSS file. So here we're going to have counter app.gsx, RAFC to create React snippets. Then we're going to create another file, counter app.css. Okay, so now that we have the GSX and CSS file, we're going to enter the CSS file in our GSX file. So we're going to have imports dot forward slash counter app dot css. So we've established the link between the CSS and GSX right here with this line of code. Okay, now in our app.jsx, we're going to mount our counter app because this is what we want to view on our browser. So we're going to have counter app, and then we're going to end it with the self-closing tag. We're mounting a component, so we should see counter app right here. Okay, now let's build the app itself. So I'm going to close the app.jsx, then I'm going to head right here. Okay, so I'll delete this. The first thing we're going to do is to create a div tag, and we're going to give it a class name of counter container. So this is going to be the main container dot counter container. In the container, we're going to have our h1 tag, and it's going to have the title counter app. Okay, so let us see. This is what we have, counter app right here. So the next step now is, before our return statement, we need to declare a state variable and a setter function. So the state variable is going to hold our count value, and the setter function is going to update the count value whenever there is a change in the value. And we're going to initialize the count value with 0. So right here, we're going to have const count, and the setter function set count, use state, and we initialize this with 0. So the count value has been initialized with 0, and the set count is a setter function that is going to update the count whenever there is a change. So we're going to see that in action very soon. Okay, so the next step now, after our title, we are going to have our count display. So here I'll create another div tag, and I'll give it a class name of count display. And the count display is going to take counts. Okay, so we have our curly braces, and we have the count here, which is this count that we've initialized with 0. Next step now is to create our functionality buttons, which is the button for decrement, the reset button, and the increment button. So right here, I'm just going to have a comment buttons. And then I'm going to create a div tag, and I'll give it a class name of button group. In the button group, we're going to have 3 buttons. So I'm going to separate each of them. This is the first button, second button, and this is the third button. So the first button here is just going to take minus. The second button here is going to take resets. And the last button here is going to take plus. Okay, and each of these buttons will have a class name. So we'll have class name button, but here this is going to be our decrement button. Okay, and the second one as well, class name, this is a button as well, and we'll have another class name for it, reset button. And the third button will take a class name as well, button, and here we'll have increments. Okay, so we have 3 buttons now. And right here, if you check, this is what we have. Our count here is 0 because we initialized to 0. If you click on this button now, nothing is actually happening because we're yet to add the function. We're yet to make anything work. It's just a button. So to make each of these buttons work, the first thing we need to do, let's work on the first one. We're going to use an onClick method to call the set count function and then decrease 1 from every count, because this button right here is the decrement button. Okay, so we're going to have onClick, call the set count function, set count, open our brackets, we're going to set count minus 1. Okay, so for every time this button is clicked, the count will be reduced by 1. Okay, so right here we use an onClick. This is the reset button. That means we want to reset the button to 0, the count to 0, I mean. So here our set count is going to be 0. Okay, and for the last one, onClick, we'll call our setter function set count, and we're going to increase our counts by 1 for every time the user clicks on the button. Okay, so let's see this. Click, you can see there is a change. Okay, if I click on reset, okay, we have a little problem because right here is on play when it's supposed to be on click. Okay, where's it back? Reset to 0. Increase, decrease, increase, decrease. Okay, so this is working perfectly well. Now we need to style it and make it look this beautiful. So for our styling, we'll start with our index.css. For the entire document, we're going to set the margin to 0 and the padding to 0 as well. Box sizing will be border box, and the font family would be these fonts. Okay, so I just want this font right here. Okay, so that is for that. Then for the entire body as well, we want to set the background color with a linear gradient. So linear gradient, open our bracket, 2. So to the right, we're going to have this color code, #74 EB B5, comma, and another color code, #9FACE 6. Okay, so this is supposed to be background. Okay, then we'll set the height to 100 VH. Display here will be flex. Justify all the contents to the center. Align items center as well. Now we'll head back to our counter.css. Okay, we'll start with the count container. For our count container, our background color is going to be white. So we're going to have background white. We'll have a padding of 2 rem, 3 rem for the width and height, and the border radius, we'll set this to 1 rem. We'll have a box shadow as well, 0, 10 pixels, 25 pixels, and we'll have a color code as well, 0, 0, 0, 0.15. Okay, all the text will be at the center. Then we have an h1 tag right here for the title. So dot counter h1. Margin bottom, we'll take 1 rem. We'll have our color, so be this color code. Then we're going to have, we'll start with the count display. The font size, we'll take 4 rem. Font width will be bold. Margin, 1 rem. And the color, we'll take this color code. Okay, then we have the button group. So for the button group, we'll set display to flex. We'll have a gap of 1 rem between each of the buttons. Justify contents at the center. Then for the 3 buttons, we have a common class name, which is the btn button. So we're going to do that as well. We'll style that. So .btn. We'll set the padding 0.8 rem and 1.5 rem for both width and height. The font size will take 1.2 rem. Border, none. Border radius, 0.5 rem. Set the cursor to pointer, and we'll have color as white. Also, we're going to add transition. All 0.2 is in out. Then we'll have the increment, decrement button. So I'm just going to come over here and copy. Okay, so for button dot decrement, we'll set the background color to this color code as F44336. Then for the increment, okay, we have the resets before the increment. For resets dot btn dot reset, background color would be 2196F3. That is going to be the color code. And the decrement, okay, the increment. So I'm going to copy this dot btn dot increments, background color. We'll take this color code. Then for the entire button, if you hover on it, transform scale of 1.05. Then we're going to set opacity to 0.9. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is what we have. Okay, there's something else that we missed. Okay, let's go through it. Okay, right here for the width, REM. Okay, let's see. All right, so it's exactly as this. As you can see, you can tell no difference between the two. So this is what I built earlier, and this is what we just built now. Reset, increase, decrease, reset, increase, decrease. Okay, so this is working perfectly well. So this is the end of the first 30 days coding challenge for React beginners. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and then get ready for the next video. Let's go.